All right, good evening. So literally, I just came to my office a few minutes ago, and the first thing that I saw was that somebody emailed me that they had heard my shiur last night. It was very helpful for them, but at the same time, they have this anxiety for the future. What will exactly the future bring, and that gnawing anxiety really weighs on their mind. Then I did a silly thing, and I looked at the news. And what did the news show me? The news showed me that Governor Newsom just declared the entire state has now in shelter in place, and not only in shelter in place, but that the shelter in place is indefinite until things get better. So I was thinking to myself, this is just a few minutes ago, more than ever, really more than ever, the only way that we're going to be, as I mentioned last night, not only just to survive this time period, but to thrive and to grow with the solution is to realize Hashem, and in particular, to see and to feel Hashem and realize and to have Bitachon. The opportunity I spoke about last night. So today, a little bit, the focus is, if we don't have Bitachon, really that can be a big negative. And I saw today an unbelievable Gemara, really unbelievable Gemara, and an unbelievable Ben Yehoyada. First, I'll do the Gemara, and then I'll say what the Ben Yehoyada says before we get to the Bais HaLevi. Actually, the Ben Yehoyada, the Ben Ish Chai, Yosef Chaim of Baghdad, was a contemporary of the Bais HaLevi, so it works really nicely. The Gemara says the following thing. This is a Gemara in Bava Kama, Daf Samach Hamabei, 60b. Tana Rabbanon. The Gemara says the following thing. If Dever Be'ir, if there's a plague in the city, Knois Raglacha, gather your feet. In other words, limit how much time. This is a Gemara. This Gemara is 2,000 years old. If there's a plague in the city, Knois Raglacha, gather your feet. Don't spend a lot of time outside. Shneimar v'atim lo teitzu ish mipesach beiso ad boker. And none of you should go out of the opening of your house until the morning. The Talmud quotes a pasuk in Yeshaya. Lech ami ba b'chadrecha uskor dalsecha be'adcha. Come, my people, enter into your chambers and shut the doors behind you. In other words, the pasuk actually finishes, hide yourself for a little moment until the anger passes by. The Omer, and the Gemara quotes a pasuk at the end of Devarim. Michutz tisakol cherev mechadarim ema. Outside, the sewer will be brave, and in the chambers there's ema. There's fear and trepidation. The Ben Yehoyada for the non-Sfardim, the Ben Yehoyada was the Ben Ish Chai. The Ben Ish Chai was the greatest sage in the Sephardic world, probably in the past 200 years. Up there, Rabbi Chama Yosef. Many Sephardim learned the Ben Ish Chai. He was the Gadol Hador in Iraq. He passed away in 1908 or 1909. He gave a 3-hour Shabbos drasha every week, so he's my inspiration at some level. But he had 3,000 people in the sweltering heat of Baghdad with no air condition, and I don't know how he could project the 3,000 people, but somehow he was able to do it. Ben Yehoyada says a very important thing in this Gemara. Dever be'ir kanas raglacha. Zakta Ben Yehoyada expounds the Ben Yehoyada. If there's a plague in the city, go into your house. And then he discusses, what does it mean? Does it really mean go into your house? Or maybe you should just get out of the city. And he has a back and forth. And that back and forth really is not pertinent to us because we have nowhere to run. If it'd be in one city, then we'd move to a different city. Why wouldn't we get out of there? Go to a better place. But we're not in that situation. And so the Ben Yehoyada actually heard Rabbi Biderman, who's a prominent rabbi in Bnei Brak. He quoted this Ben Yehoyada. Ben Yehoyada then says an amazing thing. He says, quotes the Marsha and the Iyun Yaakov. And he says, "B'choli cholera with cholera, afilu," which was in the 18th, 19th century, certainly very dangerous. If that sickness gets stronger in your city, the best thing to do is to get out of there. It won't help you that you're going to lock yourself in this city. Why not? This is what he says. You know why? You know what the danger of this is? You know what's the worst thing about this? That more than the sickness, more than the threat of that plague, what will kill a person, what will paralyze a person, will be the fear and the trepidation. The person will be so scared, will be so nervous, that itself will kill the person. And again, Ben Yehoyada died in I think the end of 1908, or if not, the end of 1909. He said, wrote from Maisa, so the doctors say, in at least in his time, a certain metaphor, a certain story to explain this. Pam achas, there's once cholera, in English, cholera, be'ir achas gadola, in a big city. The koidim shenischazek hachoyli motza adam achas es hamashches hamuna achol kara. That a person saw the angel of death who was going to put the cholera on the city. V'omalo, he said to him, of course it's a metaphor, kam and nefashos ata roi tzalikach. How many people are ultimately going to die in this city? V'amar chamisha alafim, 5,000. The soif davar, and in the end, 15,000 people died. This person found the Malach HaMavis after the 15,000 people died. Why do you lie to me? You told me 5,000 people died, and now 15,000 people died. I didn't lie. I only killed with Kara 5,000 people. The extra 10,000 is because Roiv HaPachad was because of their own nervousness. They were so nervous. They gave themselves such stress, such aggravation, that they themselves killed themselves. Yet the extra 10,000 had nothing to do with me. It was they themselves who hurt them and killed themselves. Ad kan mashal derech melitza. Says the Ben Ish Chai, ad kan, as far as the mashal, the hoidiyah, to teach us. There are those that literally kill themselves or die or hurt themselves or stress themselves or get ulcers or make poor decisions because of pachad avasa, because of fear and panic. And therefore he says, get out of the city, in this case, because if you're around people who are going to cause you to have fear and panic, then you will hurt yourself. More damaging than the plague, is a person's own fear and panic. And that's why really learning Bitachon is so essential, because Bitachon teaches us that since everything is from Hashem, we do our part. And doing our part, as I elaborated last night, is to do everything in our power to make ourselves safe. But after it's all said and done, we're in Hashem's hand. So for the person who asked me, I will bleed out to get back to that person about being nervous, whether it's about Pesach and their job or what the future brings. Really, we talk and tell us, don't be nervous. Just do what you're supposed to do. First of all, nervousness is not only is it not helpful, not only does being nervous or worrying not accomplish anything, but as Ben Yehoyada said, it's more damaging than the plague itself. Precaution, a certain amount of healthy fear is, of course, a good idea, but stressing and worrying, what if, just today, I just as a little thing, whether it's true or not really makes a difference. They announced that this old antibiotic for malaria perhaps could treat the coronavirus, COVID-19. Means in 1 second, everything can change. In 1 minute, like it came 1 week ago, it was like maybe in 2 weeks ago, no one even thought about it. But in 1 second, things can go back. A person, we need to have Bitachon. And Bitachon is all the night tonight. So, as I mentioned last night, talking about faith in God, that the Bais HaLevi, who was a contemporary of the Ben Ish Chai, so he points out that when a person's overly nervous, that the biggest problem is you're forgetting about Hashem. It's all up to the governor or the president or creating a cure. And this plague and everything in a person's life happens only because Hashem. And therefore, being worried or nervous, again, there's a healthy nervousness and a healthy fear which connects us to Hashem. And that's really all of us. I think for the people on the lecture tonight, and many people who heard it today, I think that we're doing that. We are looking to connect ourselves to Hashem in this moment, which is sometimes in life we can fool ourselves. But now really it's clear that the whole world is helpless but for Hashem. And our thing is not just to know that intellectually, but to feel it spiritually, first and foremost, and emotionally. To spiritually, as I spoke about last night, to use this opportunity to connect ourselves to Hashem, and emotionally, that we should sleep at night knowing that biyado of giruchi, that we put our heart and our neshama every day in Hashem's hands. So says the Bais HaLevi, in Jeremiah says the following thing: "Kasav al takas mipnei penachischa lefaneim." Don't be scared. You're now talking about foreign armies. Don't be overly scared. Because of your fear, like the Ben Ish Chai said, your fear will kill you. Not only your fear will kill you, it will be the reason you'll be given over to your enemies. You know why? Because if all of your fear is your enemies, it means you're forgetting that Hashem is the one who puts you in this situation in the first place. You mean we imagine that it's only because of an enemy and not because of Hashem. And I thought about this. One of the things that we should be doing, perhaps strengthening, is saying Shema. And when you say Shema in the morning and at night, and before you go to sleep, to realize that everything, Hashem is one in the world. That really, when you say Shema, it should be right now a moment where you think, there's no enemy. It's me and Hashem. It's us and Hashem. Well, the Gemara then says, a person is overly fearful of their enemies. Doesn't mean if you have enemies, make sure to do your army, do your strength, but realize they're coming from Hashem also. The Maseches Brachas, at the end of Brachas, for those who are in Daf Yomi, they did this very recently. Yehuda bar Nasan have a shakel va'ozeh, Basrei, the Rav Hamnuna, Esnach, and he sighed a sigh, like, oh, this is so terrible, so awful, like a sigh of yish. A sign there's no hope. That's it. Like there's nothing good about this. Amala Yisur Bai, Hahu Gavla Surah Nafshe. Dichsi Pacha Pachati Vyaseni. Do you want to bring your own Yisurim to yourself? Do you want to damage yourself? You get fearful, and you get damaged. Va'avar Kenksiv. It says Ki Teitz L'Melchama. And say the Devarman says, you go out to war, and Parsky says obviously, and you go out to war, you see armies, don't be scared. Which means, even if the odds are against you, whatever it may be, realize that everything in this world, that the Yesod of Bitachon is two things: that everything comes from Hashem. Hashem can help a person at any moment, and Hashem is be'etzem good. And every situation He puts all of us in is really there for us, as I mentioned last night, for us to grow from spiritually, and not to be worried about the what ifs. I think here it's you can't even worry. There's nothing to even worry about because we can't control the world in that sense. the Rambam says in Min HaMitzvahs, Loisasa, Mana Zeh B'Cheshbon HaLavin, Shayira B'Mocham, it's actually a Loisase. It's a negative prohibition to go to war, the Rambam says, and to be scared of the enemy. It's a negative prohibition to be scared of the enemy. And that's why the Kohen used to go out before he went to war. He says, go home. Because if you're going to go to war and you're going to be scared of the enemy, then you're going to hurt yourself, not because of the enemy, but because of yourself. You're going to hurt yourself not because of the enemy, but because of yourself. Someone wrote to me that they were about getting an ulcer. That's doing it to yourself. Right? That's our own nervousness, allowing ourselves to forget. If a person's a little bit nervous, which it's normal to be, that should be channeled to Hashem, because Hashem is the ultimate arbiter of everything. And to connect to Hashem, that is our hashtalas. But not to be nervous or unnecessarily nervous, because what we're saying then is there's nothing I can do, and it's all up to Hashem, it's all up to chance. The Mechamta Mishal, because you should know that Rambam says that ultimately the wars of the Jewish people is not up to our strength, but it's up to our faith. Hashem is with me. What should I ultimately be feared for? What could man, in our case, what could any other disease do to us? So first he discusses being fearful of man, which is in our situation not as germane, but the principles certainly are. Because typically when we deal with people in the world, whether it's a boss, whether it's people of power, people we meet, we imagine everything's up to us. Now, actually, I should share this. This is so mind-boggling. Really what Bitachon is everything's up to Hashem. And it's not up to us, which means we have to we're obligated to do our part, but ultimately Hashem is in charge. And therefore, that's actually comforting, because you and I and everyone can mess up, and Hashem will give us actually what's best. I heard an amazing thing by Reuven Leichter, who is one of the great thinkers in Israel and of Israel. It said, the typical religious way to deal with challenges and struggles and difficulties is if a person has a sickness, a person's in financial need, if we're scared, we go to shul and we daven, or we give tzedakah. We imagine that we'll fix it. We'll fix it religiously. That what happens, we're in a challenging situation, and there's still a feeling that I'm in control. If I go ahead and daven, I go ahead and do my mitzvahs, that I'm able to make a shtalis to fix my situation. So, but this situation that we're in today, it literally closed yeshivas, closed the shuls, and so you can't all get hundreds of people together to say Avinu Malkeinu together. Now, I spoke about last night how that at some level lets us connect to Hashem in our own personal relationship in a way that we don't usually have, in a way that's so deep and so beautiful. And personally, I'm still finding this to be on a personal level, an ability, a new way to connect to Hashem, which I find to be liberating, Shein Kamohu. But at the same time, it's humbling, because the normal way we would deal with a tzara, a tragedy, a difficulty, is to connect to shul, or to connect to community on a deep way. And here we're forced to be separated. We're forced to not go to shul. In fact, for people to go to a minyan today is usher. It's against halacha. You're putting yourself and other people in danger. So literally, Hashem is making us feel that we can't even fix ourselves at some level. We have to totally rely on Hashem. The Bitachon really is that Hashem will, if we put our faith in Hashem, that will be our salvation, not our own fixing even. Not that I can even dive into Hashem and just fix it so easily. It's a very deep thought, but a very important thought. Actually, when I was telling you, my own personal vignette this morning is, I'm just sharing because we should all share because we all can gain from one another. Like for me, I don't know. I make my flights months in advance for Minyan, and I typically, if I don't dive in a Minyan, it's much worse. I'm being very frank. Over the past 25 years, I miss, I don't know how many, very, very, a handful of Minyanim. And every time I've done it, it's been, oh my goodness. And I found myself davening to myself. I've never had such davenings at some level. I feel like Yom Kippur every day. I'm not talking about the fear of Yom Kippur, but the connection of Yom Kippur. And the past few days, I daven like Yom Kippur, and I say Akedah, which is, I don't usually do that. The Akedah is the binding of Isaac. And this morning when I was saying that Akedah to myself, and I thought to myself, what was that Akedah? The Akedah really was that Hashem said to Abraham, you had a mission in life, and you were coming against idolatry, you were coming against human sacrifice, you desperately wanted your son, Isaac, Yitzchak, and now you have to give it to me. And Abraham's ultimate test of faith was exactly that. And I thought to myself, Hashem always said, go to Shul. How he does it? I talk about go to Shul, Minyan, Tzibor, coming together. And now can we not? It's usher. It's Pashat usher. It's forbidden to put ourselves in a danger. So, and Hashem took that away from us at some level. And I thought to myself as I was saying, that is the ultimate giving of ourselves to Hashem. It's not just that we have to say to ourselves physically to put ourselves in Hashem, but spiritually, emotionally, that we're with Hashem. And it's not, I'm struggling for words because it's so profound to myself, my own thoughts today. It's that it's not just that it's a negative to worry about everything. I realize today it's a negative to believe that I can control my own davening will save it. It's no. A person, when they realize they're completely in Hashem's hands, and if Hashem wants us to be home, if Hashem wants us to have Pesach as individuals, that's our Akedah. That is our opportunity to be like Avram Avinu. And just like Avram Avinu, when he went to do the Akedah, he didn't blink because he knew whatever Hashem wants is the best. And I felt this morning, I think we all could feel this way, the same way, is that we are given a very serious, dangerous situation, but at the same time, it's really an Echad of us all. It's really our opportunity to pour ourselves completely, totally in Hashem's hands. And that really is not only a comforting, but a liberating reality. And the opposite, as I mentioned, is not just a sin, it's dangerous. It's pashat, it's debilitating, it's paralyzing, and it's dangerous, and it's as the Rambam says, it's pashat, a sin. And the sin is you're forgetting about Hashem. You think you're nervous. First of all, it means that you need to know tomorrow what's going to bring. You need to know exactly how everything's going to work out. We never know what's going to work out. But here today, I'm saying you don't know what's going to work out. Again, like I mentioned, I'll say financial, if you're overly nervous, it means you're forgetting there's a Hashem in this world. And again, I would start just a small idea a day. I'll do Shema. Say Shema in the morning and put your hands, and you say Shema. I've been in people in their deathbeds, and I've seen what Shema means. I've seen the Shema of the family, and I've seen the Shema of the people. And I've been in many brisim. And in Israel, they all say Shema. It's from they'll say Shema as well. It's the beginning and everything. And to really feel and say Shema in the morning and at night, and certainly before you go to sleep, and put yourself in Hashem's hands. It's our Akedah in them. So just to finish this paragraph, and tonight we'll pick up Sunday night. Person who's scared of man, and we're going to get to other things. If you're scared of a person, it means you're forgetting Hashem. He said, Shircha b'Hashem Yisparach. As the pasuk says in Yeshaya, Mi'at v'tira me'enesh. Yamos u'miben adam chatzir nasar tishchach Hashem eischa v'tefachet tamid. You're going to forget Hashem, and then you're going to be nervous. You know why you're forgetting Hashem? Because you think I'm at the mercy of this person who wants to hurt me, who's out to speak bad lashon hara, or is going to hurt me physically, or they can fire me. And then you're nervous. Person would understand, not just intellectually, it's easier here, but emotionally and then spiritually. Anything, like the Talmud says in Chulin Zion, that I feel even you prick your finger down here, is it's decreed up above. There is nobody that can help him. Even nothing, zero can happen to a person without Hashem. And no can a person not hurt you. They can't even bring it a second closer or delay it a second. Everything that happens to me and you and the whole world happens not only because of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As the verse says in Eov, it's only from the oneness of Hashem. We should not fear any man. As we say, shouldn't fear man. And we should not fear not only this magefa, this dangerous. We should be very careful and again follow everything we do. We should not just not fear it, because if you fear it, as I started the Ben Ish Chai, you can not only, the bigger danger at some level is the fear that panic can kill you. This is a marathon. It's not going to be tomorrow. It could be tomorrow. Hashem could in 1 second change it, but it's really at some level a marathon. But it's not just the fearing of man, it's you're forgetting about Hashem. If we don't fear the plague, we can find ourselves honestly growing in the situation. And I saw the Brisker Rav who went through the Holocaust and World War I and had a really an amazing life. He was Chaim Soloveitchik, the Bais HaLevi's grandson, and Chaim Soloveitchik's second son. Brisker said, more than any sefer, any Musar book, you can learn Bitachon from life. We can learn faith by living life. We have really our Echad is now. And you talk about Avram Avinu. For all of us, at some level, it's Echad. If we feel Hashem in this Echad, we'll find ourselves like Avraham, reaching levels we never can reach level. Not only will we not hurt ourselves by panic, but we'll bless ourselves with a connection and a closeness to Hashem, which itself springs bracha. So I want to wish everyone a good Shabbos, and to really stress to everybody that what we learned again Sunday night, that this Shabbos is a Shabbos like you never had before, that I've never had before. And we should use this opportunity, because we're going to usually come together on Shabbos, use it to come to ourselves with our families. We're fortunate. If it's just us, with this, it's us and Hashem. And if we do that and we realize that, we'll realize we're in the best hands. We're in the best situation. And we have a Father in heaven who watches over all our steps. And we will have Ezra Hashem, our own Yeshua, the Makor Bracha and Shabbos. So I want to wish everyone a good Shabbos, a Gesundta Shabbos, and Yirtzeh Hashem. We'll have Tehillim tomorrow at 12:30, and so this class will pick up Sunday night at 8:30. Good Shabbos to all.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos to everybody.